We're going to talk about subtracting integers by changing it to addition. So, subtracting integers by changing to addition. Now, disclaimer here. This is a trick. It is not very mathematically insightful. It's not really Common Core, but it is a trick. But it's a trick that everybody uses. And so it's pretty important you know how to do this, because sometimes it's just easier to do this. It's important you understand how arithmetic works, but it's also important to be able to do arithmetic quickly. So let's get started. We're going to subtract integers by changing it to addition. So I'm going to start here pretty slowly, and I'm going to write actually really big because I want to talk about this. If I have -3 minus +7, this thing here is called an operation. And the operation is tied always with the number that comes after it. So the operation is tied to the next number. So when we look at something that's a little more complicated, like -5 plus 7 times 2 minus 4 divided by 5, we need to realize that each operation is tied with the number that comes after it. So that's really important to understand that. The operation is tied to the next number. So if you understand that, don't forget it. Always remember that. That's going to make it much easier to do the following problems. So let's take a look. How about if we have we'll write in black, -5 minus +2. So we want to change this to an addition problem. So we're going to look at this subtraction problem and change it to an addition problem. So that subtraction, remember, goes with that +2. That -5 really is just hanging out, waiting patiently. So we're going to change everything inside that red box. So the negative goes with the +2. So we're going to change everything inside there. So the minus turns into plus. The +2 turns into -2. So now we have -5 plus -2. And later on, you're going to see why I'm insisting we look at the operations hooked up to the numbers and why it's important to understand that mathematically. So now we have -5 plus -2, and by whatever method that you like to add integers, we can go ahead and do this, and this is -7. So pretty straightforward. We can do -5 plus -2. That's equal to -7. We started with -5 minus +2. I rewrote it -5 plus -2 because I changed everything that was in the red box. And I remember that subtraction, the operation, is tied to the number. Let's take a look at another problem. So what about -3 minus -4? Let's try -3 minus -4. Well, -3 just kind of hangs out. And minus -4 is in that imaginary red box. And so we change everything inside, so that becomes plus +4. And now we can do the arithmetic, -3 plus +4, by whatever method that we want, and we find that that's equal to +1. So that's pretty much it. But let's take a look at a slightly more complicated problem. What if I have +2 minus -4 minus 3? Well, this is the part where you need to really remember what goes together. So, positive 2 just kind of hangs out by itself. Minus negative 4 is hooked together, so we can change all of that. And then minus positive 3, there's a hidden positive there, turns into plus negative 3. And then following order of operations, we do 2 plus 4, which is 6. We have 6 plus negative 3. And then we have positive 3 is our answer. Positive 3 is our answer. So notice we're keeping the operation with the number itself. Now, sometimes it's kind of silly to change it to an addition problem. And I want you to think about it, but I want to show you that it still works. So if I have, for example, 8 minus 2. I'm assuming that you all can tell me that the answer to that is positive 6. We all know 8 minus 2 is positive 6. But let's pretend you're a robot doing this and you're not even really thinking about what you're doing. And you say, okay, 8 is going to hang out here and minus a positive 2 that turns into plus a negative 2. And then you solve that by whatever method you want. And you will find that you still get positive 6. So the nice thing about this method is it may cause more work, but you will always get the right answer if you don't make an arithmetic mistake. So, lots of ways to do this. Remember that the operation gets tied to the number immediately following it. And that's about it. Thank you.